So, Undertale fan games, am I right? Wait, no, don't click off! There are way too many of these damn things if you ask me, and they all kind of merge into the same gooey, disgusting, edgy Sansa-U ultra impossible difficulty mode refight sludge pile that's been actively festering since 2016. I could not tell any of these things apart if I tried, so why on earth am I bothering talking about them? Well, that's because we're not talking about any of this nonsense. We're talking about this nonsense! See, I bet some of you clicked on this video thinking I was going to talk about Undertale battle mode, but oh no, that'd be way too easy and it isn't even that weird, it's just very poorly made.
I'm Wingaster, the raw scientist.
But no, I'm hashtag not like other girls and we'll be talking about something far more niche. The fan game in question is one I first saw when I was probably about 11 years old or something, watching Undertale videos on YouTube on my Wii U because what else was I meant to do at that age, and I stumbled upon this game. And for some reason, all these years later, I have not been able to get it out of my head. It was one of the first things I tried playing, more on that later, when I first got a PC, and now after recently remembering this existed, I have to talk about it and make more people aware of this stupid thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, and the people who still hate my guts from saying Delta in Chapter 3 wasn't perfect, I present to you... Now, as I'm sure you can tell, this isn't an ordinary Undertale fan game. Just looking at this world map, which is the very first thing we see upon booting up the game, you're probably saying,
"This is Mario!"
And that's right. This is Mario, specifically Super Mario Bros. X, a fan game / engine created by Andrew Sphinx, which if that name sounds familiar, you may also know him as the guy who made Terraria. Wowee! But enough about him. This is about the fan game that was made in this fan game. A pretty old one at that, and I had to go through multiple different versions, both official and fan-made of this engine, to find one that was perfectly compatible with this game, and also let me full screen the damn thing so you aren't just watching -240p footage blown up to HD. You're welcome. So we're already off to a weird start based on that fact alone, but look at who we're playing as. Judging by the name of this game, I can only assume we're meant to be playing as Toriel, but that is not Toriel. It looks more like Sue from Cave Story, which hey, I'm not opposed to playing as her, but at the same time, why did the person making this get the colour of the clothes of the playable character wrong? And I'm sure you're sitting there like, wow, yes Willow, truly biting commentary pointing out an Undertale fan game from 10 years ago got something wrong, how unexpected. But you gotta let me have this one, this is the most important sprite in the entire game and I didn't get it right. Speaking of sprites though, look at this, there's custom sprites for absolutely everything. This isn't Toriel Goes to Mario World, this is Toriel Goes to Undertale in Mario World. I do genuinely commend the effort of making all these custom sprites for this game, even if some of them are a bit off to say the least. The music is also really strange because they didn't just rip songs from Undertale, they instead made covers of them, so some songs go from sounding like this to this. Now, to talk about the actual level for a second, its level design is about as sporadic as my script writing. First we have a basic platforming bit, then an underwater segment that is over before I can even finish this sentence, jumping on vines over a bottomless pit, must have missed that part of the ruins when I played Undertale, then a P-switch bridge section, which we just gotta hold right and jump over enemies sometimes, and another random and disconnected feeling platforming section over some pits. This has the same amount of design cohesiveness as my old Mario Maker levels, a game I played when I was 11. Napster is at the end of the stage, we don't fight them though. Next up is Snowdin, and this level is a shitload of fuck. And I do not mean some, I mean a shitload of fuck! You wouldn't know it, but you actually can't jump on the snowdrakes. The game does actually tell you this, but I just assumed don't touch them meant to not touch the sides of them and you could still jump on them like most Mario enemies. These things all being reskinned is really making it hard to tell what enemies these actually are without trial and error. You probably think this level is bad because of ice physics, right? Snow level, ice physics, next segment is even a tower climb. Well, in a shocking turn of events, no, there isn't any ice physics. Instead there's something much worse. Snow physics. Yeah, you heard me. Fucking snow physics. When you're on snow, you not only have the acceleration speed of a dying snail, but you move slower and even your jump is somewhat gimped. How fun, right? You remember when I said earlier that I tried to play this game years ago? Well, this is what made me quit. This stupid tower climb frustrated me enough for me to quit. And you know what? Up until the end of this room where I entered the wrong orange pipe and ended up going the wrong way and died and had to do that whole thing over again, I didn't think it was that bad, honestly. But now, getting past that, I have no knowledge or memory of anything past this point, so now I'm really in for it. Oh yeah, for some reason this game has Mario 1 rules where if you get hit even with a fire flower you go back to being small, so that's really cool and definitely necessary. There are barely any fire flowers throughout the game, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still really annoying. The next section is more random platforming over pits, featuring me finding out the game isn't very good at registering inputs sometimes. Here we go.
What happened to my jump?
One thing I absolutely despise about this segment is this awkward jump right here, which wouldn't be that bad if you didn't have to deal with snow physics.
Thanks, Satan.
The boss is coming up, and I'm not going to tell you anything about it and just let my live reaction do the talking. I was going to make that jump, I'll be honest, that's why I started. That's what he looks like, huh? Apparently he thinks we're Asgore and wants to prove he's fit for the Royal Guards by trying to kill us.
Well, what do you think, King Asgore? Pretty good, huh? Your silence is stunning me.
It took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure out you had to stand on the bones he threw, crouch, then hit the run button to pick them up and throw them at him. Like seriously, I instantly clocked it was a bird reskin, but it took me way longer to realise I had to also crouch while trying to grab them. Made this whole process a lot more annoying, especially since I got a game over and had to redo the tower segment again. With Papyrus sent careening to his demise, we can go to Waterfall and surprise quiz! Out of all the Undertale enemies, which one do you think is going to replace the Thwomps? You know, the giant stones with spikes on them that come crashing down from the sky. Who do you think it's going to be? Place your bets! Yes, that's right, it's Aaron! Probably one of the last ones I would have thought of, but sure, whatever, who cares? There's a big underwater section now, which makes sense, but I'm not happy about it, even if the Onion-san Banzai Bill is an inspired choice. There's also some weirdly precise spike swimming sections that just feel out of nowhere. Like seriously, trying to draw a difficulty graph for the levels so far would look like this. And I know what you're thinking, it's a water level. So of course the next obstacle is a Washio ride above spikes with Undyne throwing spears at you. Despite that, it's probably the best part of the level, which isn't high praise, but it's a step above the rest even though some jumps are a bit mean. The Undyne fight went really well, thanks for asking.
What the fuck?
When I said the part where you ride the Washio over the spikes was the best part of the level about 10 seconds ago, I take it back because having to redo this every single time I die to Undyne made me hate it. And yes, it goes without saying that Undyne looks interesting, but I was too locked in to notice.
What the fuck? What the? Oh my god.
Onto Hotland now, and you know what? They did it. This level isn't awful. I'm shocked too. It's actually pretty consistent in what you're doing, and honestly it's pretty fun. Just a simple platforming level over some lava with some additional obstacles. I'm impressed, Goat Mum's Tail. I didn't know you had it in you. You know, another medium is actually what the? That is, it's good until the quiz segment. Yeah man, Undertale had a quiz segment, so we have to include one too. It's also multiple choice, so you know that means we have to have some heckin' quirky answers in here too. I want to save the human. I want to piss off Asgore. Oh, Jesus. For real, you gotta pull out the ukulele, it's looking bad. Quiz segment sucks, but after that we get more platforming that sticks to the theme from earlier, but it is a bit more difficult this time. Wow, it's like an actual level. Shitty, whatever they've done to it, it still sounds good. Oh my god, 9/11. Unfortunately, there's not much else to say about this level. There's no boss fight at the end either, so I can't even make a joke about that. The core, however, oh my god, this fucking level. This has got to be the worst level in the game. I genuinely despise this level so much, and the worst part is, conceptually it's fine. It feels crafted in such a way to be as annoying as it can possibly be, which is impressive. The Hammer Bro reskins are in this level, and yes, they're just as dickish as you'd expect.
What?
So, first you have to hit 3 different switches to open up this door that you can't get past, and make sure not to touch the door at all, because then you die for some reason. Oh.
What? What the?
Whatever. The next bit is really cool, because I went up here, and the game basically said, LOL, you don't go this way yet, so I had to sulk back downstairs and hit a switch. And I don't know if it was just bad luck, but the input dropping I previously mentioned seemed particularly rampant here. And no, it's not my controller, because I was using it on other games earlier that very same day and had no issues whatsoever, so there's something weird about the way this game detects inputs. Whatever the issue is, it made this level even more insufferable. Now that we got past that, we finally hit a checkpoint and get to possibly the most annoying part of the whole level. You gotta go down this tower, hit a switch, then climb back up. Simple, right? Well, you would think that, if not for the fact hitting the switches makes whatever this is rise up so you need to rush, which is a problem when these stupid, weird, inconsistent lasers are going at it and this absolute bell end drops down from the sky at the most inconvenient part possible, making the platforming extremely awkward. And since this is placed after the checkpoint, guess what? You have to do it every time you die to the boss! As for the boss though, well, what Mario boss do you think Metaton would go over? Seriously, out of all the Mario enemies that you could use, who would you say is the best fit for Metaton? You have 10 seconds. 10. No, it's Mouser. Look at how I died when I first got to this boss. What? Then I almost beat this boss my second try, then this happens. Dude, I've got my eye on like so much shit right now. You're fucking with me. And it may have pissed me off a teeny tiny bit. God, fuck off! So after doing the whole damn level that I hate and finally getting back to the boss, I did actually manage to win before I hit Alt F4 out of instinctual rage. Final level, I think. The opening segment is just a bunch of monsters explaining the plot for this fangame, followed up by a P-switch platforming section for some reason. Maybe it's to mirror the P-switch segment in the ruins? Like, wow, really got some We've come full circle themes, haven't we? Bravo, Goatmom's Tale, truly a visionary in the medium of art. The checkpoint is also placed right before here for some reason, meaning that if you were to die to the upcoming boss, you have to redo this every time. Why not just place an extra checkpoint right before the boss? This isn't a Souls-like, this doesn't add anything. Dying has no real consequence in a level this short. What's the point? And yeah, we have to fight Asgore while playing as Toriel. This mod includes domestic violence. And as for the fight itself, it's just Bowser from Mario 3. 1-to-1. Except we have to wait until the blocks turn into flowers to be able to be broken. Not sure why that change was made, but it doesn't really change how long the fight takes, but whatever, this boss is fine, but that's probably because it's a copy of an already existing boss. I absolutely love the dialogue at the end of the fight though, where Asgore just fucking begs Toriel to at least be friends after trying to murder her in cold blood. Wow, Toriel, you're so mean for not taking back—
You tried to murder me!
Well, now we can finally save Frisk. Holy chud posture. And after some dialogue, this dialogue sucks, we win. That's it. That's the weirdest Undertale fangame. That was just a poorly made Super Mario Bros. X mod, is what I thought initially, but I felt like I was missing something here. I mean, there was no fanfare to that ending at all, and my file select implies I'm far from done here. So what exactly am I missing? Well, I went back into the last level to see if there was some sort of hidden area, and yes, there was. If you pay close attention, you realize that when these coins turn back to blocks, they actually form a series of platforms to jump on. So we hop across and holy shit, Flowey, the best Undertale character! He basically just tells us about he's wiggling his slimy, disgusting roots towards the human souls and absorbing them to fight us. I really don't know why he's doing this in this scenario, but whatever, go off, dude. We then get the most Mario Maker feeling fight in this entire game. I swear I played Omega Flowey boss fight levels in Mario Maker 1 structured identically to this. Took me a bit of time to figure this out though, as I just assumed like the actual Omega Flowey fight we'd wait until we're allowed to do something. But no, we can just grab the hearts on the side and throw them up at the head. Honestly, pretty fun, I like it. One funny thing about this though is that given the music is a recreation of the boss fight theme, it's still including all the interruptions from the souls in the background, but it's just not synced to anything because I guess this wasn't given as much thought other than, yeah, put the boss music in for the boss. Yeah. After this, we finally get the actual ending, with everyone thanking us or whatever. The sand spray is just traced. I mean, everyone else looks like a fucking chud, so I guess that's for the better. We actually unlock a proper ending where we get to see what everyone is up to. Pyrus is opening up a restaurant, Sans is taking a nap despite nothing in this game preventing him from doing so. Flowey asks us if he can call us mum, which, I mean, yeah, technically he can. Asgore is still begging for us to be friends, like, give it up bro, it's over. Undyne and Alphys are going to the beach together later because this is a fan game of a game by Toby I Love Lesbians Fox. And Frisk, the human child, asks us if we want to go out on a date. What is it with Undertale fans and children, dude? We obviously say no. Next room features that fucking dog that I hate and he tells us about some secret levels. Oh no. Oh dear god, there's more of them. I'm not done yet. I still have to keep playing this. Well, I'm sure there isn't anything to worry about. Surely these secret hidden levels won't be even more frustrating and annoying, right? Out of morbid curiosity, I wanted to see what happened when I said yes to Frisk, and we actually get a new level out of it. Bro, for some reason, puts on a fancy red dress. Seriously think she should invest in that ukulele, and I mean it. And Frisk asks us if we thought about remarrying. Why is this game turned out this way? Well, at least this leads to the best part in the game.
Frisk, what the fuck are you doing?
Then Papyrus shows up. There's a sex joke. I'm not talking about this quote-unquote level anymore, I'm moving on. Well, it's time to look for those secret stages, so starting in the ruins, we can get to it very easily by bringing a second P-switch with us to activate after crossing the bridge, allowing us to make our way up to the door and access the secret exit. Let's see what level this opens up. Hard mode. Oh god. Great, you know, that's just what I wanted to see. I'd love to see the designer of such levels as Snowdin and The Core try and make a damn hard mode. That sounds just great. Well, actually it wasn't that bad. The level isn't super well designed or anything, but it was way less tedious than The Core. Probably because this is trying to deliberately be difficult instead of accidentally difficult. And it is just a hard mode of level 1, so it can't be that hard. The underwater segments are very long though, like there's more water here than there is in the actual water level. At the end of the level we get a hint about the next secret level, which, you know what, I actually quite like. The idea of all these secret levels connecting and giving you little hints as to where the next one is a fun idea. Dude, that's what I don't get about this game. Sometimes there's some actually neat little things, but most of it is utterly baffling, so I assume all the actual good design choices were sheer dumb luck. The secret level in Waterfall is pretty easy to find, not only because the entrance sticks out like a sore thumb, but because we were instructed on exactly where to go. Hell yeah, dude. Temmie Village level in a fan game from 2016. Are you all ready for the same jokes repeated ad nauseum? There's an emo one. Oh, 2016 is back, bitches. Yep. I saw. She is green for an amazing reason. Oh, it's a Shrek joke. You. Okay. That's actually a boss fight in this level. It's against an assortment of various Tems. Is this Temmie Megalovania? Including the giant floating Temmie head from Phineas and Ferb. Despite me praising the hints leading you to each following secret level, all of them you'd be able to find pretty easily by yourself so far. Well, that ends now with this one because it looks like this. See, usually I would hate design like this, but because of the whole hint system from beating each level, I can't get mad at this. I like the idea they're hidden more obscurely as they go on, making it so you're less likely to find the later ones without going through the game's hint system. I know the look you're giving me for praising the game that had this. Dude, this mod has a Shay reference, but I have to be fair and also consider this is an Undertale fan game from 2016, so it's a miracle any of this is worth praise. Saying that though, the level we unlock from this is actually insufferable. It's a pure platforming level with a Lakitu replacement over us the whole time, but I'm no longer 7 years old, so Lakitu doesn't fill me with nearly as much dread. But this isn't a normal Lakitu.
What the fuck? What was that bounce? Holy shit!
This level was actually making me start to crash out with the shit it throws at you.
What? How did that hit me?
Oh,
What?
I really love the bit where near the end of the level, these stupid ass birds poke their head out the floor and do not go back down, essentially creating an unbreakable wall, making it so you're forced to rush. Which would be fine if there wasn't an RNG based sniper at the top of the stage at all times. Well, time to talk about the plot of this level, because yes, there's a self-contained plot. Alphys here really likes the anime Mew Mew, so has attempted to recreate the protagonist in real life. But she's fucked up because she's an absolute melt, and now we have to stop Mew Mew so Alphys can get to her anime collection. I hate this character. As I'm sure you all know, Mew Mew is a real character that was exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version of Undertale. Interestingly though, this version came out in 2018, a couple years after this fan game came out. So how exactly did they go about designing this character that didn't have an actual appearance yet? Well, they're on the other side of this door, so we're gonna find out. Okay, let's play Spot the Difference. Wow, I can't believe Toby was so shamelessly copied this fan design. Generally, what the hell is this design? I didn't really think Mew Mew would be some sort of anthro pig with boobs, elf shoes, black shirt, and gold wristbands. Her name is literally Mew Mew. You know, like the sounds a cat make? What led to this being the design? The only explanation for this looking the way it does is the experiment Alphys did being messed up so badly it turned out looking nothing like how she intended, but it doesn't mention that here, just her acting like a psycho. Though it's entirely possible this is the design the creator of the game thought was both perfectly fitting and acceptable. It looked like one of the Archie Sonic background characters. This could be in the next Ken Pender's Laura Sue Chronicles and I wouldn't bat an eye. This boss fight is also just really fair and balanced. These knives are really difficult to dodge, but it's not the end of the world. You see these slow-moving steamrollers?
What?
Now, how the hell was I meant to react to that without knowing they would do that beforehand? Then there's this little dispenser thing in the middle Alphys made that shoots out bones we need to grab and throw at Mew Mew. It's a bit difficult given how high up the platforms are, but as long as we steer clear of the knives they chuck down every now and then, it's almost impossible to die to this attack. I think the fight automatically progresses regardless of the damage you do as platforms slowly start vanishing, making it harder to dodge, getting to a point where they sit on the third attack until you defeat them. It is hard to hit them at this point with the extra projectiles, but it's still pretty easy, so thankfully it's just a start this fight that absolutely rails you, and once you know what's coming, you'll get through pretty quickly. Just don't game over, otherwise you have to do the entire level again, because that bit before Mew Mew is by far the worst part of the whole stage and is harder than the actual boss.
Whatever! Cool!
It's pretty obvious that the next hint is leading us to the core, but I don't really know the area it's referring to, but it gives me a vague enough clue to find a secret exit. Unfortunately that does mean playing part of this level again, and you all know my thoughts on this level.
What?
Whatever, found a secret path. Yay. The spider bake sails the next level, which is one of the more unique levels of the game, where you're constantly descending down rows and rows of areas with increasing difficulty. I have no clue what the music is for this level, but that ain't no spider dance. This isn't spider dance. What is this? There's some decently tricky jumps as we continue to go further and further down, and there aren't any actual checkpoints until right before the boss, so you gotta do this whole thing in one go. It's not that difficult, but it's something to take note of given the length of the stage. It's also one of the better stages in the game, probably because it sticks to one thing and does it decently with no trained snipers, or, again, snow physics.
What? What the fuck was that?
Muffet is obviously the boss of the stage, but I was very curious to see how they handled the Muffet boss in this. You know, maybe something with a web or having rows of platforms to mimic the mechanic from the actual game. Not Muffet riding away on a hoverboard or shooting purple fireballs at you. Despite that being stupid, I don't mind the fight itself, since you just need to pick up the spiders that spawn along the path and throw them at Muffet's fat head. Although, that would be too easy, so of course there's a second phase. Muffet just sits at the end of the arena now on top of a platform covered in spikes, so either she's wearing some rock solid shoes or this is the stupidest idea she's ever had. You have to do the same thing in this phase, except because of how far back she is on the platform, the constant projectiles, and Toriel not exactly having the best throwing arm, makes this unreasonably difficult to land a shot on her. There's actually a third phase after this. Yes, Muffet has this many phases, but also she brings in the cupcake spider from a boss fight in Undertale. Now given this is the sprite that we see in game, how do you think it looks in the mod? I'll give you 3 seconds to figure it out. I didn't think they would be so tall. Questionable artwork aside, this is actually the easiest part of the fight, since Muffet just sits in one spot the whole time, making it extremely easy to throw stuff at her. The hint it gives us is just about finding the Omega Flowey boss, but I've already done that. I thought maybe this was a different hint about something else, but after defeating Asgore again and checking around, I couldn't find anything. Ended up looking it up to see if I missed anything, and it turns out at the end of the day you can enter an invisible door to get some more hints.
For fuck's... What is it with this dude?
This guy says something about the third orange bone, whatever that means. Also, going back to the left, we bump into... Oh, hey, Kara. Should I do the Kara level first? That kind of feels like the end of the game. I decided to see what the other hint could be about first, given the unique map icon and it being placed at the far right of the map. It's probably the true ending of the game. Now, what level do we look for the apparent third orange bone in? Well, there is one level with a missing secret exit. Let's see if we can find... Oh, well now I can see why they didn't bother hinting this one to us. The stage this leads to is called Easiest Level, so I really hope the creator isn't being sarcastic and this isn't actually the hardest level. Sans thinks Toriel could use some training if they want to save Frisk, so his idea on how to do that is by putting her through a brutal platforming gauntlet where he constantly throws bones at us. What the hell, dude? You know that scene in the beginning of Kung Fu Panda where Shifu throws Po into the Furious 5's training gauntlet? Yeah, that's what this level feels like. Despite all that build-up, this isn't actually that difficult. Like, sure, some of these projectiles blindsiding you can feel exceptionally annoying, but it's pretty easy to breeze through. Unfortunately, this isn't the whole level. There is a second part that Sans calls the true training, so I guess all of that was just a time waster. And you know what? He wasn't joking. This took me a little bit over 10 minutes to beat, which, I assure you, felt way longer when I was actually playing it. Some of these jumps are genuinely evil.
What the... Well, how was I meant to know that?
The problem is because of the 4:3 aspect ratio and the way these things load in. Unless you know exactly where they spawn, it becomes impossible to react to projectiles and it becomes more of a trial and error memory game than a platforming level, which is extremely annoying and feels beyond unfair. Because it is. I like hard platforms. Look, see, here's proof. Artificial difficulty like this, where it's pure trial and error and it's not built around that like Super Meat Boy or Celeste, is extremely annoying and causes a lot of deaths that straight up are not your fault because the game is requiring you to know what was coming up ahead. It's not like you can take it slow and try to mitigate it either, as you're under a pseudo timer with these bones chasing you, so you're forced to rush by, but by doing that you'll trip over every single little pebble and get absolutely munted. Go, go, go. Did I win? A true training? What? Okay, yeah, it's a troll. I thought it would be. Whatever, we beat the stage and get the hints for the things I found on YouTube instead, and now I just have to solve what it means by the third orange bone. There were some of those in the Sans level, so if we go back to... Oh, right, there it is. That was quick. Well, there we go. A nice, quick, secret X... Why is this more level? Why is there more stage? Don't tell me this is another platforming gauntlet.
My jump! Oh my god, what is it with the fucking jump button in this? It just doesn't register half the fucking time.
The jumps are more unfair, the memorization is heavier, the segment is longer, and above all else it made me even more angry.
Why didn't you fucking grab it? What the fuck?
I'm sure someone is going to comment skill issue in relation to this part because that always happens, but first of all refer to Exhibit A, and second of all, have you seen these hitboxes? With how long this goes on for and how long it took me to actually get through it, which was 30 minutes by the way, it felt like the creator of the mod just kept pulling stuff out of a hat and went, I'm going to put this here to mix it up a bit, and this to piss them off, and this to... It's absolutely infuriating. It's the most annoying I got at any part of this game. Yes, including the core. Instead of talking about this bit any further, I'm simply going to show you a montage of deaths/crash outs I had while playing. A highlight reel, or rather low-light reel, I guess.
Oh really? That's so cool! How that's just floating in the air and that's not reactable at all! Oh my god, I hate that fucking... Cool! No, that's really fucking awesome!
Oh, just fucking put it in my ass.
Yep, don't even register my jump. Just... You fucking fucking twat! That's so unfair! Put it right the fucking edge of the platform, dickhead!
After almost twisting my controller in half, I do get through and unlock a follow-up level. And thankfully it's not more of this, but this instead. This is all very weird, but I'm glad we're just out of the hell from before, so I'll take anything at this point. The environment is very glitchy. Grabbing coins or passing through certain points just makes part of the level disappear or move away. It's pretty interesting at least, because you don't know if grabbing that glitched out coin is going to do nothing or pull the floor out from underneath you. Did I go down here? Oh, I thought that was like a secret, okay. There's a bunch of cryptic messaging near the end which I thought was signaling to, you know, Gaster, given all the glitchy environments and previous hinting basically telling you to your face that's who you're going after in these levels. So, who do you think is behind that door?
I found you, faker!
Never mind, guess it's a mirror match. This is actually really easy. Toriel just walks back and forth shooting individual projectiles every now and then, and you just have to jump onto her head. That is of course unless you've collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds and have access to the last story, where Toriel goes into her final form. Looks like something you'd seen a stupid creepypasta made by a
Minecraft YouTuber.
file that some self-diagnosed autistic 14-year-old and his friend group of
Minecraft YouTubers.
make an FNF mod of, and it lasts 1 week before a Google Doc is made on any of them. Fight itself is pretty similar to the second phase of the Muppet fight from earlier, though instead of the issue being Toriel's limp arms, it is instead being pelted with a barrage of different projectiles, making trying to weave in a hit really hard and semi-luck based without getting hit yourself. Although, I will say, aside from getting hit randomly when you attempt to hit the boss, it's actually pretty fun to weave in and out and quickly run back and forth to hit Toriel. I thought for a bit you just had to throw the heart since there seemed to be some explosion effect when I did, but I'm also a bit stupid and didn't clock that it was the tears blowing up. Wait a second, I'm not stupid. Why would the tears explode? That doesn't make any sense. But yes, you do have to hit Toriel's head specifically, and yes, I'm trying really hard to take this fight seriously when I'm against this. Defeating Toriel just pops up a text box saying thank you, which is unintentionally really funny, and then this happens. Oh, I win. Oh, God. Going into the next room, we're presented with a bunch of Toriels just kept in a bunch of vats, just like the Team Dark ending in Sonic Heroes. Running along this area gradually displays various messages to us, which is assumedly Gaster talking to us. So yes, after all these deaths, we finally get to meet the man himself. I'm not even sure what a Gaster boss fight could be like. Oh, hang on, we have a great example. I know you know who I am, but I introduce myself just as formality. My name is... I froze up for about 20 seconds in pure disbelief at what I was seeing. And I initially titled this video the Weirdest Undertale Fangame. That was a placeholder name that sounded decent enough, and the game from the get-go seemed pretty weird, so I thought, sure, why not? But this solidifies me calling it that. Nothing could have prepared me for what I'm seeing. Is this game just one big troll? Have I been bamboozled? Have I been playing this entire thing under the assumption it was made seriously only to be a massive joke? Well no, of course not, that's a stupid assumption to make. Do you really think anyone in 2016 would put in this much effort for a troll fangame? They just pussyfooted around Gaster, just like the actual developer of Undertale. Where's the music in the background? What is that? It sounds like when the song's like converted to like a piano MIDI. What is that? Well, nothing to do but beat the stage, I guess. I think it tries to kill you after you beat it, but the credits still showed up. I think these are just the default credits for Super Mario Bros. X though. That was certainly something. Fuck's sake, I sound like I'm going, well that just happened. All that's left to do now is beat the Kara level. This level takes a page out of Sonic.exe's book by its gameplay being nothing but holding right until we bump into someone and they kill us. You are a failure as a queen and as a mother. You couldn't even save a single human. Your existence is useless. Goodbye, mother. That's not true. Oh, hello. Yeah, Kara just kills us because according to them we're a failure for a mother, and I mean, letting about 8 children die that have been under your care for any amount of time is kind of shocking, so I'm not going to argue with that. So, is that the end of the game? Of course not, that'd be a really shit ending. Only marginally better than the previous one. There was actually a hint given to us during the lead up to the Gaster encounter, telling us to continue on down the pathway even when the red coins stop. Doing this though, we only bump into Tricky Tony himself, taunting us that there isn't a secret here. Well, I don't buy it. This door is a mistake, don't go in. Yeah, right, I'm sure that... this was a mistake. Yes, this is an auto-scrolling tower chase segment where the thing chasing you is Kara's giant fucking head. Despite being an auto-scroller, the rest of the level above where it hasn't actually scrolled to yet is entirely accessible, meaning it's just the camera scrolling. I know this because I tried making this jump here and got absolutely battered by an off-screen platform. It's not super hard, but it is annoying you can't go at your own pace because of the auto-scrolling camera. I also think it's worth noting the game has entirely given up on its awful covers of Undertale songs because most of the past tracks I haven't been able to recognize, so they're most likely just ripped from somewhere. It's kind of like the The Zavok boss fight at the end of Sonic Lost World. Getting to the top of this area, which takes a while by the way, this auto-scroller lasts 2 entire minutes, Kara stops chasing us and fights us with a question mark at the end. She just sits down here, sometimes shooting out fireballs that always go in the same 2 arcs and her hands dropping down at the sides, which totally doesn't make this look way funnier than it already does. There's also these things that spawn on the middle platform that look like the Meat Boy zombies, which we need to pick up and throw into Kara's face.
What the what?
Well, that was rather unfair, but at least we get a quick restart.
It doesn't put a checkpoint? No. Dude. You're fucking with me.
After another grueling 2-minute climb, we get another attempt at the fight, and I figured out that you're entirely safe by standing on one of these 2 platforms and just reacting to the fireballs when they're shot at you. As for the crushing pillar, it's best to just wait until it goes and then start grabbing things for a bit, so it's actually pretty simple, but trying to figure out the best way to play this fight is miserable due to what you have to sit through beforehand every single time. I'm sure this is meant to be the climactic finale or whatever, but I just can't take it seriously because it looks like this. Taking her down brings back Azrael briefly for some reason, and he talks to us a bit. Whatever, level is basically over. Flowey mentions that it'd be a great day to play catch though. Look, I got some bad news. And that's the game. I skimmed through a long play to see if I missed anything, and I didn't. That was exactly how it ended for real this time. Well, that was weird. I mean, really, what an odd game full of bizarre design choices, dodgy visuals, beyond questionable dialogue and tedious segments. Oh, and I guess that applies to this fan game too. A lot of the levels don't really know what they want to be, and then the other ones have artificial difficulty. And then on most of them, the difficulty just flows all over the place. The dialogue is all in broken English because the creator doesn't speak it's their first language, which, you know, I can excuse. I cannot excuse some of the dialogue itself, like seriously dude, what the hell? I think a lot of the Undertale fandom at times just didn't seem to acknowledge or notice that Frisk is a child, but while that's still a little bit weird, I don't even think it applies here given how Frisk is referred to and stuff here. Like, I'm not trying to insinuate anything about the developer, but oh my god, this dialogue, dude. Though as lacking in actual quality that this is, I can't help but love it to an extent. This thing feels like an ancient, dusty time capsule with a little bit of asbestos in there to make things interesting. This could not have been made any other year than 2016. Part of that due to it being an Undertale fangame of a quality that is like this. Part of that is due to all the dated references. The Shrek Temmie and John Cena are prime examples. This could not be made in today's climate, or if it was, it'd probably be a lot higher quality and made by a huge team of fans and in my opinion, not nearly as interesting to discuss. I think that's what gives it such a unique charm. I genuinely love this terrible fangame for all the complaints I've made, as there isn't anything out there quite like it. And to me, one of the best things a game can be, besides, you know, fun, is interesting. Give me a bad game that isn't fun to play, but if that game is fun to look into, and I guess investigate, sign me up. Wait, what?
What the fuck is going on?
I have no... What am I looking at?
Obviously, you know, it's better when they're both, but whatever. Do I recommend you seeking out this game and playing it? Oh. Oh god, no. Did you even watch the video? This thing is infuriating. You already know all the interesting stuff about it, so you're not going to get anything out of it. However, if you are still interested for whatever reason, I've linked both the game and the engine in a link below. I give this game a still more fun to play than Deltarune Chapter 3 out of 10.